Hey guys, so I've been thinking for a little while about my raised garden beds and what I want them to look like. And I decided that even though I'm not ready to do anything permanent, I want to get started and I'd like to do a couple of trials and see what I like best in my garden. So what I did the other day was I bought a Vegepod, and the Vegepods are a self-contained wicking bed, so everything comes with it. And what a wicking bed is a raised bed that holds a reservoir of water at the bottom. And then as the plants grow and need water, they draw the water from the bottom of the bed as and when required. And that makes for really nice, even, consistent watering. And honestly, that is what plants like best. So we could come along with our hose and water over the top. Plants are fine with that. That's the traditional, normal method of growing, I suppose. But if you think about trees, what do they do? Where do they get their water from? It's because they wick it up. So this stimulates what would happen in nature. The other great thing with Vegepods or with any self-watering or wicking bed is that it's a lot better for water efficiency, because the plants are only drawing what they want or what they need. You're not utilizing any unnecessary water, and your plants are ultimately going to be a lot happier for it. So let's see what's inside the box. Okay. So this is the cover. It comes with a netted mesh cover, and that's going to be really great if you choose to use the Vegepod for any leafy green spinaches, brassicas like your kale and cabbages, anything like that. I'm probably going to use this for tomatoes. So the cover goes over the top. Pretty quickly my tomatoes will outgrow that. In here then I have my instruction sheet, which is great, and lots of little side pieces. And then I have the pod, and it's all set up, which is great. I love that, it makes it so much easier. And this is the panel that makes, or that does the wicking. So under here we've got our reservoir. The panel sits in the reservoir, and these individual feet have little holes in them, and the water will wick up through there as and when the plant requires it. Let's get rid of the box and we'll start assembling. So far so good. So we got the original bottom container, which has the wicking cells in it, and built up the edge. Now the best thing about building this edge was that I didn't need to use any tools. You might not be able to see it, but down the bottom the edges are held onto the main tray with a nut and a bolt, and the nut is a wing nut, which meant all I had to do was tighten it on. Was a little bit fiddly getting it together, but nothing difficult at all, so that's fantastic. Now the Vegepod has a drainage hole just here, so if there gets too much water in it, rather than flooding the plants, that excess water will drain out. So I'll make sure that I place that downhill. But the key with any wicking bed or self-watering container is to try and get it as flat as possible, because that will allow even wicking. So now I will find a place for it in the garden, probably next to my other bed, fill it up, and we can get planting. The Vegepod's really light, so it's nice and easy to pick up and move around, but you want to place it obviously before you've filled it with soil, because soil is heavy. Now Vegepod recommends that the small one will fill up with 4 to 5 bags of potting mix. Now, if I was just filling this with potting mix, I would be using my premium quality potting mix that I use for everything. But I do still have a little bit of leftover mix from my raised beds and my bulk soil that I bought the other day. It's a Jeffrey's premium veggie growing mix. So I'm going to start with that, see how far it goes, and if I need to add some potting mix, I'll just top that up. That's perfect. And this means that I'm going to get an actual nice even test when I compare the Vegepod, which is a wicking bed, to the normal garden bed that I've got behind me here. So the next thing to do is just plant it up and start gardening, which is really exciting. Thanks, guys.